Welcome to Science Decoded. Here, mythology meets psychology. Ancient stories decoded for our modern minds. Krishna wasn't perfect. He lied, he flirted, he broke rules, he tricked enemies, and maybe that's exactly why he's the God we need today in a world that constantly demands perfection. Because, let's face it, do we really connect with flawless gods? Or do we secretly find hope in those who stumble, bend the rules, yet still shine brighter than anyone else? Think about Krishna's life. As a child, he stole butter, lied to his mother, danced in mischief. As a warrior, he bent Dharma, told Arjuna to fight his own kin, guided Bhima to strike below the belt, and even stood silently when Karna fell unarmed. By the standards of perfection, Krishna fails. And yet, he is the most loved, the most worshipped, the most human of all gods. Why? Because imperfection makes him relatable. Our modern world is obsessed with perfection. Perfect marks, perfect resumes, perfect Instagram lives. We pretend we never fail, never break, never cheat, never struggle. But inside, we know the truth. We stumble, we bend rules to survive. We carry flaws we're ashamed to admit. And then, along comes Krishna, smiling, playful, reminding us that being human is not about being perfect. It's about being real. Let's go deeper. Krishna's lies were never random. They were strategic, purposeful. When he tricked, it was to protect. When he bent rules, it was to restore balance. When he lied, it was to uphold a greater truth. This is important because sometimes survival means adapting. Sometimes Dharma is not about following rules blindly, but knowing when rules need to break to protect life, justice, and love. Isn't that the same struggle we face at work, in relationships, in life? When to be rigid and when to bend. Psychologists tell us we connect more deeply with flawed characters than flawless ones. Why do we love Iron Man more than Superman? Why do we root for Arjuna even in his doubts and Krishna even in his lies? Because flaws make them human. And when we see their humanity, we accept our own. Krishna, by being mischievous, playful, imperfect, gives us permission to breathe, to stop chasing impossible standards and embrace the messiness of being alive. Think about it. How many times have you bent a rule just to survive? How often have you told a small lie to protect someone you love? How often have you pretended to be perfect while breaking inside? Krishna tells us it's okay. Perfection is not divine. Compassion is. Playfulness is. Strategic wisdom is. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna lied, yes, but only to end the war that could have destroyed the world. He carried the weight of moral complexity so Arjuna wouldn't collapse under it. This is the lesson. Sometimes leadership isn't about spotless hands, but about carrying the dirt so others may walk free. And maybe that's why Krishna is the god of resilience. Not because he was flawless, but because he showed us how to be whole in our flaws. So how do we bring Krishna into our modern lives? By forgiving ourselves when we fall short, by being playful in a world that's too serious, by bending rules when kindness is greater than correctness, by choosing humanity over hollow perfection. In every lie of Krishna, there was a deeper truth. In every flaw, there was a hidden strength. And in every smile, There was the reminder that life is not a test, but a dance. So next time you feel guilty for not being perfect, remember Krishna, the God who lied and yet healed, the God who broke rules and yet built balance, the God who reminds us that our scars are not weaknesses, but bridges to compassion. This was Science Decoded, where myths become mirrors and imperfection becomes a gift. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to know that they don't need to be perfect to be divine.